This is the gospel according to the IRS, Breaking Points and Church Financial Updates. And now, here's the authority, Dr. Michael Chitwood and Breaking Points.
This is Michael Chitwood. Welcome to Breaking Points. We've been dealing specifically with the check writer. Now, a lot of you think you have a bookkeeper, but you don't have a bookkeeper, you have a check writer. And that's good because we need people to write checks and keep the bills paid. For too long now, some churches have been accused of not being able or willing to pay their bills timely. And that's all changed now because despite what many people say, I believe that men of God have integrity and churches have integrity. They just haven't understood all the rules and the requirements for making sure that they're in compliance. We've dealt with source document, paper trail, audit trail. Grab your pad and pen, bring the check writer around, the board member. And by the way, those of you that are ordering the Check Writers University System course, make sure that you get that user's name in there because I want you to be able to tap in to some of those other things that will be available to you. As we go through this today, it's important for us to make sure, ladies and gentlemen, as we examine every component for a check writer, that we understand that the check writer is very important. But board members, you need to let her go. Don't you keep her hands tied any longer. Some of you board members, in fact, need to go yourself because you're restricting the pastor's vision and you just don't want change. I was at a church one time and here's what they said. Well, we're not going to do it this way because for the last 21 years, we've been used to doing it that way. Well, that way is gone. The old way is gone. We have new rules, new requirements. The Corporate Responsibility Act now under Sarbanes and Oxley, the Corporate Greed Act, it tells you exactly what you're supposed to do. And it also tells you that if you don't do it, that you're going to go to jail. There's criminal penalties if you don't abide by the law of the Lamb. I've been giving you the source documents, 12 source documents that you should never discard was yesterday's program. Today's program, I'd like to give you the 9 items that you must keep for 7 years. Let's go through this if we can. Number 1, grab your pad and pen. Are you okay with this now? Grab your pad and pen. 9 items you should keep for 7 years. There's 9 items that you should keep for 7 years. Number 1, all accident reports and claims for settled cases. All accident reports and claims for settled cases. Number 2, accounts payable ledgers. Any accounts payable ledger that you have, accounts payable, bills that you have paid. Number 3, accounts receivable ledgers. Anybody that owes money to the ministry, you need to make sure that you keep a schedule of that, of course, until it's paid off. Number 4, notes receivable ledgers. Anybody that may owe for a note that you had given to them. Now, we know that the church can't loan money to individuals, including the pastor, or to members, or to non-members. I'm not speaking about that. Let's say that you sold a tract of land, and the church is carrying the note on that with the appropriate interest amount. You can't do it interest-free, but you could do it with the appropriate interest amount imputed by the Internal Revenue Service guidelines. That would be a notes receivable. Number 5, all expired contracts, mortgages, and leases. It's very important that we keep these 9 things for 7 years. Number 6, physical inventory worksheets. I like to keep that as a backup. Now, most CPAs and most attorneys will tell you that you don't have to keep that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, to be quite frank with you, and don't take this the wrong way, there's most CPAs and most attorneys, they really don't know anything about nonprofit law and nonprofit accounting. That's what we found in our practice over and over again, that they just don't understand nonprofit law and nonprofit accounting. So it's important for us to make sure that as we go through this, that we check ourselves daily. In other words, who's going to check the checker? Who's checking your checker? You need to make sure that somebody's checking the checker. If you don't, you could be in checkmate before you know it. The last couple of ones I want you to take down is very important. Number 7, income and expense reports. Income and expense reports. Remember, ignorance is no excuse of the law. You can't say that you didn't know. You can't say that nobody didn't tell you. And your board's sure not going to be able to tell you because we know what they know. And they know what? Absolutely nothing about this subject. And I say that, board member, respectfully, because don't you forget about those 3 board members in Harlem, New York that cost them $274,000 each just because they didn't know what they were doing. Some of you board members, you need to check yourself and make sure that you have B&O and E&O at least to cover your personal assets of the church and of the personal assets of your own self. Number 8, personnel records, all payroll summaries, and supporting documentation. That's a little long. Let me give it to you again. Number 8, personnel records, payroll summaries, and supporting documentation. And number 9, purchase orders and all check requests. Ladies and gentlemen, the whole thing revolves around this. Does your bookkeeper or your check writer know what they're doing? If they don't, then you need to get them trained. Get the Check Writers University course system. If you don't want to do that, then I strongly recommend that you find somebody that knows what they're doing. And check writer, a word to you, because I've been doing this and I'm the authority on this. Trust me on this. I am the authority. I've got more churches than anybody. I've been in more churches than anybody in the United States, and I represent more pastors across America. Here's the point. Check writer, if you're not going to get the support of the board, if you're not going to get the support of the pastor, then you have no other choice but to turn in your resignation. You have got too much to lose to stay there and not understand the law. Michael Chitwood, I'll see you tomorrow on Breaking Points.
Breaking Points gives you the latest IRS updates and tax law. Pastor, if the IRS came to your church today, what would you say? If you really want your house of worship in order, call 1-800-345-9117.